very much. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Hyannis Main Street Waterfront Historic District Commission. This is May 15th, 2024, 6:30 p.m. To all persons deemed interested or affected by the Town of Barnstable's Hyannis Main Street Waterfront Historic District Commission ordinance under Chapter 112, Article 3 of the Code of Town of Barnstable, you are hereby notified that a hearing is being held at Town Hall, 367 Main Street, Hyannis, Mass. Selectmen's Conference Room, second floor, 6:30, Wednesday, May 15th, 2024. This meeting on May 15th, 2024 is being recorded and broadcast on the Town of Barnstable's Government Access Channel. In accordance with MGL Chapter 30A, Section 20, the Chair must inquire as to whether anyone else is recording this meeting, and if so, to please make their presence known. I have no takers, so I would ask everyone to please silence your cell phones, put them on vibrate, just something so it does not interrupt the meeting. Thank you. So I will call this meeting to order. And Commissioner Matthews?
Here.
Commissioner Cornelius Carley did call me about 10 minutes ago and said he had a legal document he had to file tonight. Commissioner Jennifer Hinckley Needham?
Here.
Commissioner Matthew Clark?
Here.
Commissioner Laura Cronin is absent tonight. Commissioner Tom Doherty?
Here.
Commissioner Jack Kay?
Here.
And I, Cheryl Powell, am also here. So the meeting has been called to order. We do not, obviously all of our applicants and the people attending are special guests. And we may have some others coming in later. Again, reminding people to please do your conflict of interest training. And if you're not sure if it's due or not, to please contact Cynthia Lovell because she's on top of that. Nothing with regard to awards tonight, and there's no correspondence to be read. Is that correct? I did receive something in the mail, but it was with regard to something else, so I'll leave it for that. A reminder, that, and I think you were copied in, with regard to something coming next application. Reminder of the Commissioner's purpose and proper procedure. I think everyone is aware of that. So we come to the first item tonight on new business, because there's no continued business. First one is Sophia Macheras or Macheras? Macheras, thank you. DBA, the Silver Seahorse, 382 Main Street, Hyannis. And I also see that you were the one after that with regard to Seaside Selections, 320 Main Street, Hyannis as well. They are both at 320, map 327, but parcel 001 and 002. It sounds like because the first one's with regard to an awning and the other is an awning and a sign. Do you want to take them separately? Or together?
Sure, yeah, I can do them separately, that's fine, they're two separate.
We'll just do them immediately right afterwards. Okay, thank you, please. Oh, and we do, I did not see, we have one of our town council liaisons, Charles Bloom. Thank you for attending. Sorry, I didn't, you were between the chair and the person. Thank you for being here tonight. Yes, please come up, and if you wouldn't mind signing in, please. There you go.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to forget you over there, Town Councilor Bloom.
I like to be forgotten.
Don't say that too loud. It's nice to not be forgotten. Okay,
right.
Tell us a little bit about your project.
Okay, so the Silver Seahorse, it's right across the street, 382. We have a awning right now that's ripped kind of from the wind. It's old, and it needs to be replaced. So I was fortunate enough I did the facade grant, which I was very grateful for. So we were able to get some funding from the Business Improvement District. So I would like to replace the awning.
Okay.
It's gonna be, this one's pretty simple.
You want to tell us a little bit about what you want to
Oh,
replace
yeah,
it
I'm
with?
sorry.
That's all right, no problem.
The one that we have is a retractable one, which is not very sturdy, and it's all ripped, so we're looking for a fixed awning. And it's basic, kind of lines up with our neighbors. And since it's a smaller storefront, I want to do the black and white striped, kind of goes kind of classic. So,
What's the material?
it's like a umbrella fabric.
Umbrella
Yeah,
fabric. Okay,
and
great. I think it looks great.
I don't know. It's Yes,
Black and
this one's
white
kind of
basic.
simple. Yeah.
Any other questions from commissioners or clarification on the presentation? And did you have anything else you wanted to say?
No, not for the Silver Seahorse.
Okay.
I think that wraps it up.
So,
for that. Yeah.
any other questions for clarification on presentation?
No, looks good. Nothing to say here.
I'm going to open it up to public comment. If there's anyone, I'll leave it open until we go to motions. Jim?
No,
You have a
nothing
staff
further.
report on it? Okay. So how do we feel about it?
I think it's great. I think this is exactly what these grants are supposed to do, and I thank you for making the street look better. The area, it looked
you.
better with that awning. It looks good.
Once again, you took the words right out of my mouth. You keep doing that. But well noted. Okay. Nothing else to be said on it. So I'm going to close public comment and invite one of the commissioners to please make a motion for the findings.
I move that the commission find this application to be compatible with the preservation and protection of the district
A second.
for the awning at 382 Main Street.
Second, absolutely.
So, Commissioner Kay,
Aye.
Commissioner Doherty,
Aye.
Commissioner Hinckley Needham,
Aye.
Commissioner Clark,
Aye.
Commissioner Matthews?
Aye.
I also say aye. Would the commissioner like to make a motion, please, for a certificate of appropriateness?
I will. I move to issue a certificate of appropriateness for the application at 382 Main Street as described in the submitted materials.
I also second.
Okay. Commissioner Matthews?
Aye.
Commissioner Clark?
Aye.
Commissioner Hinckley Needham?
Aye.
Commissioner Doherty?
Aye.
Commissioner Kay? Aye. I also say aye. It looks really good, and I
Good,
agree
thank you.
with Commissioner Matthews. It's something that's very much needed.
Thank you.
I'm glad you got the grant.
Appreciate it. I am too. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Should I just stay here for the next one? Okay.
Absolutely.
You
Want to
again?
go and come back? I mean,
I wasn't sure if
Only if
anyone
it's
else
that
had to go
easy,
instead. All right.
part two.
All right, part two. So Seaside Selections, which is directly right across the street, whichever way. So that's been there for a long time. It hasn't been a lot of upgrades there. So again, I applied for the grant, and we were fortunate enough to get some funding for a new awning. And the other was a blade sign, because it's kind of underneath. So I put both of those things in together. The awning is, again, very classic. It's black, but it actually has a white trim, and then like a second white trim. I don't know if you can tell very well in the pictures, but it looks really nice. It's actually the similar one they used at 5 Base Bistro in Osterville. Same style. I wanted to keep it simple and inviting and clean, so that's the awning for that. And then the blade sign, just when you're walking down the street, it's hard to see the sign way up above because it's so far up. So the woman an architect that I spoke with before when she was trying to help me come up with some ideas, thought it'd be a great idea to have a blade sign stick out so people could see the signage from both sides. And it's going to mimic the sign that we have above. It's just black with gold lettering and a white trim. So that's probably in the other application. I don't know if they're all together. It might be in the next one. Yeah. Next one over. Yeah.
So,
Again, it's the same kind of umbrella fabric. It's fixed, pretty standard.
gotcha. Okay. You're going to have a reputation for the black and white
I
signs.
know.
They're very characteristic. I
Try
like
to
it.
keep it clean and crisp, so
Okay.
I kind of get stuck on things, I'm like, black and white, that'll look great.
Anything else to say?
Not really.
Okay. So any commissioners have questions on the presentation? Or
Just a question,
clarifications?
where on the blade sign, I know you're going to put it against, underneath the awning, where is it going to attach to?
So the building is actually 2 storefronts, and there's 2 entryways, so it's going to be in between both. We did the measurements, so it's up a little bit higher, obviously, so we don't want anyone, banging their head on it. So, and it'll stick out in between both.
Okay, so between these 2 windows.
Yeah, it'll be able to, it's going to have a bracket, which I think I put a picture in, that will fix it, hold it in place, so it doesn't swing. So,
Excellent.
just a plain, I think it's like a black, it'll be custom made, black wrought iron type of bracket.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
It says
lights for display lights, remove the down
Oh, that
lights
was,
and provide
probably-
track lighting?
That's for the inside. I don't
Okay,
think
it's
that has
not
a- Yeah,
outside.
no,
Okay.
that's on the inside. Sorry, I must have thrown
Okay.
that in there by accident.
Good question. No.
Yeah.
Any other questions on the presentation? No? All right. So I'm going to open it up for public comment, and receiving none at this time, I will leave it open. Does anything, Jim, staff, any comments?
No comments on this one either. Thank you.
Okay. So how do we feel about it?
Good.
Well, looks good.
Come here anytime.
Yeah, and I think it'll look good, when it's all done.
I
When you
will-
look out your window, it won't look so bad over there. We're gonna need
I will
some
say there's a
updating.
copy of a letter with regard to the grant confirmation, but I don't
Okay.
think that's pertinent because it's just
Yeah.
saying that the grant was given. I mean, it's pertinent, but not, we know
Okay.
you got the grant.
Okay.
Okay. So, I saw some nodding heads. Are you ready to go for a motion? In which case, I'm willing to close public comment. And if one of the commissioners would like to please make a motion on the findings.
I'll do it this time. I move that the commission find this application to be compatible with the preservation and protection of the district of 370 Main Street in Hyannis.
Second.
I think it was Commissioner Doherty seconded, was that right? Okay. So Commissioner Matthews? Aye. Commissioner Clark?
Aye.
Commissioner Hinckley Needham?
Aye.
Commissioner Doherty?
Aye.
Commissioner Kay?
Aye.
I also say aye. Would a commissioner like to make a motion on the certificate of appropriateness, please?
I'll finish it up. I move to issue a certificate of appropriateness for the application at 370 Main Street in Hyannis as described in the submitted materials.
I'll second that.
You can pick which one we get to. Okay. Commissioner Kay?
Aye.
Commissioner Doherty?
Aye.
Commissioner Hinckley Needham?
Aye.
Commissioner Clark?
Aye.
Commissioner Matthews?
Aye.
I also say aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Part one and
Thanks.
part two. Nicely presented.
Love the black, too, with the white piping. Really
I
nice.
do, too.
Looks really good.
All right.
All right, well, thanks, everyone.
Have a great night. Go Celtics, right? All right, there you go.
So our next application is for the Santander Bank, 55 Bassett Lane, Hyannis, map 308, parcel 071. Is there someone here to represent them? Hi. Welcome.
Hello,
Hi.
I'm Kevin O'Connell with Philadelphia Sign Company representing Santander Bank. You need me to sign in?
If you would, please. Okay, tell us a little bit about your project.
Santander has embarked over the last couple of years on a minimal rebranding program, changing their brand slightly. It is not a significant change. The color is a little bit darker, richer red color, and the font is slightly different. Other than that, there's really not much of a change. The signs themselves, we're not going to change the size or the type or anything. One is a freestanding sign, which we're just going to change the face, so it'll be the new red color with the new font, and the other is the set of letters on the side of the building, which we will take down and put up a new set, which will be the exact same size, same type, same everything, just a new color in the new font. It's just a refresh of their brand.
So a one-for-one.
A one-for-one. We're not making it bigger or adding anything, so.
Thanks.
I must admit, when I saw this application,
You said, "What's the difference?"
Wait, I was playing, there's sometimes in a magazine, when you're a kid, you're looking at it, it's called Spot the Difference.
Exactly.
I was
So
trying to figure it out.
I've been doing this for a long time, and I have to look twice sometimes because it's not much difference. But as a sign company, we like making signs, so we think it's a good idea. So
Anything more?
that's all I have, unless there's a question.
Any commissioners have any questions on the presentation?
I think it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
So there's no lighting at all, like lighting of the signs themselves, illuminations of the signs, or lights on the signs?
The illumination on the sign is the same. The ground sign is internally illuminated, but there is a blackout film, so the red never lights at night. During the day, it's red with white letters. At night, you only see the white letters. There's a blackout film behind it. That's, I think, part of the requirement of the town. And the letters on the building are a halo-lit letter, so they don't light out the front. They kind of create a kind of a subtle wash behind it.
Gotcha.
Which is the way the letters are now.
About clarification on presentation? Nope, I'll open it up for public comment. I'll leave it open until we start to make motion. Jim, anything from you on it for staff?
No, my only comment was clarification on the lighting, and that's been addressed. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, in that case, I am going to close public comment, and would a commissioner like to make a motion on the findings, please?
I like it. Looks good.
Oh, you're right, I forgot to ask how we feel about it. Well spotted. Yeah?
Good.
So, would a commissioner like to make a motion on the findings? Well spotted, Jack, thank you.
I will. I move that the commission find the application to be compatible with the preservation and protection of the district at 55 Bassett Lane, Hyannis.
I'll second that.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Commissioner Kay?
Aye.
Commissioner Doherty?
Aye.
Commissioner Hinckley Needham?
Aye.
Commissioner Clark?
Aye.
Commissioner Matthews?
Aye.
I also say aye. Would a commissioner like to make a motion on the certificate of appropriateness?
I move to issue a certificate of appropriateness on the application at 55 Bassett Lane, Hyannis, as described in the submitted materials.
I'll second that.
Okay, Commissioner Matthews?
Aye.
Commissioner Clark?
Aye.
Commissioner Hinckley Needham?
Aye.
Commissioner Doherty?
Aye.
Commissioner Kay?
Aye.
I also say aye. Congratulations.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
Plain spot the difference, but I like it.
We'll come back with another one. So, thank you very much for your time. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Zooming right through this today.
It'll be light out still.
Gonna leave in the daylight?
Okay, next up. Sarah Thurnington, DBA The Studio by the Sea, 292 Main Street, Hyannis, map 327, parcel 255, with regard to siding.
I'm Sarah's husband.
And you do the dirty work, huh?
She did. She couldn't make it, unfortunately. My name is Ray Saracola. We've owned the studio for almost 20 years. We spent about 5 years ago. We did the facade of the building. We did the whole front of it and everything. When the grants came up through the bid for the facades, because it's an empty parking lot and it's one of the first buildings you see coming in, they said it would be appropriate to apply for the grant, which they approved for us. And right now we have aluminum siding on there. It's pretty old. It's getting kind of stained and old looking. And we'd just like to replace it with some cedar shingles.
Okay, if I could ask you to sign in,
sorry,
please. That's all right. It's my job to pick on people to sign in. Anything more you wanted to say?
No, I don't think so. We're also replacing the trim as well. It's going to be white. It's wood, and we'll be putting some AZEK, the fascia and soffit, just around.
Thank you. Any commissioner have questions on the presentation?
White cedar shingles is great.
This is the biggest no-brainer I've seen. I mean, it just looks, it looks absolutely fantastic. I'm very excited to see it.
Okay. Any other questions or anything on the, nope. All right, so I'll open it up for public comment. Leave it open until we have a motion. I think most people have already expressed, but is there, how do you feel about it?
As he said, no-brainer.
Yeah.
Tribute from
No,
staff?
nothing on this one either.
In that case, I'll close public comment, and I will ask if one of the commissioners would like to make a motion on the findings.
I'd be
please.
proud to do it. I move that the commission find this application to be compatible with preservation and protection of the district.
Second.
By Commissioner Doherty. All right, Commissioner Kay?
Aye.
Commissioner Matthews?
Aye.
Commissioner Doherty?
Aye.
Commissioner Clark?
Aye.
Commissioner Hinckley Needham?
Aye.
Okay, would a commissioner like to make a motion on a certificate of appropriateness?
I'll finish it up. I move to issue a certificate of appropriateness for the application at 292 Main Street in Hyannis as described in the submitted materials.
Second.
Commissioner Doherty? Commissioner Clark?
Aye.
Commissioner Hinckley Needham? Commissioner Matthews?
Aye.
Commissioner Doherty?
Aye.
Commissioner Kay?
Aye.
I also say aye, and just in case I didn't voice it with the other one, I also said aye on that. Wasn't sure if I said aye. Congratulations. I didn't?
Thank you
Reading
very
my
much.
mind.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Your wife will be proud of you. You did a good job.
I'll make her watch the video.
Get popcorn. All righty. So, one other thing. So next up, 620 Main Street, Realty Trust, DBA Amazing Intimates and Smoke, 624 Main Street, Hyannis, map 308, parcel 062, with regard to a sign. Hi. If I can ask you to sign in, please. Okay, tell us a little bit about your project.
Okay, so I'm here representing the sign company that's going to do the project for Amazing Intimates and Smoke. They're going to replace the old sign that's there right now with 6x2 sign with all made out of aluminum, and they're going to be raised letters, and they're going to be backlit with LED lights. And the size is 6 feet by 2 feet as the project.
Okay, anything else on presentation you want to say?
That'll be all.
Any questions on these? I have a couple questions, but I'd like to leave mine till last, but you guys usually beat me to it when I do it that way. But any questions on the presentation, please?
Yes, it's going to be raised letters, and you're going to have LED lights within the sign?
Yeah, they're going to be like backlit like this picture right here. It's just on the back of each letter.
What color is the lights in the back?
Purple.
Purple in the back.
Yeah, it's
Is that a color?
So halo lit sign, so lights on the back of lettering is permissible. Internally lit is prohibited. So if it was a box and there was lighting in there to light it up, it's prohibited.
and the light's going to look like a shadow on the back, and looks like a 3D image.
On everything, on the Amazing and the Intimates and Smoke, so just Amazing?
Just on the amazing part.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So Intimates and Smoke is just going to be on a sign that's not lit?
No.
Gotcha.
What's the, is 6 feet too big for a sign
That was
like
my
that?
next question.
Will it be sticking out like it is now, or will it be flat against the building?
It's going to be flat in the building. Yeah.
So
That.
6 feet's okay then?
Oh, so it's not replacing, I mean, you have
Yeah,
one.
that's an old one from the old
Okay,
store.
all right.
It's not going to be the
I didn't understand that. Gotcha.
Yep.
There's no lights on that one, the existing one.
No, it doesn't. It's a different one, different kind of.
I did a drive-by, there is a sign there, but he's right, there's no lights on it.
Yeah.
There's a floodlight that's pointed to that sign.
What is one on a slant here, is this the old sign, or?
No, that's just a 3D model of the same one that's going to be there. It's like a 3D visual.
I wouldn't really call what's there a sign, to be honest with you. It's this white board.
Exactly, yeah, there's nothing there right now.
Any other questions on clarification for the presentation?
So just real quickly to answer Ms. Hinckley Needham. So it hasn't been submitted or reviewed by building yet. So the zoning hasn't been determined. But I believe based on their frontage, they likely are in compliance. I did have a quick question, if that's okay.
Sure.
You had mentioned it's going to be wall mounted, but we have a side bracket here. So it indicated that it was going to be projecting out, I thought, right?
This picture, that's the only one we had at the moment. It's
Okay.
just to show where it's going to be the sign actually, but it's not going to be like that.
It's going to be
Wall.
Flat.
It's going to be flat with
the
the wall.
building, yes.
This, right?
Yeah.
He's talking about this.
Okay.
I guess I'm just not thrilled with the looks of the sign, the color of the
Yeah,
sign,
me
the
neither.
lighting of the sign. I just don't know how it's going to fit into a historic district.
So you took the question right out of my mouth with regard to the LED, and Jennifer, you mentioned the thing about the zoning and the color. The color is, well, I think I know the answer to that, but I want to verify. Jim, one with color, that was my third question, but it's now
There are
asked.
shades of purple in the color chart. Now, this is a little bit brighter, I would say, but.
Lit
And,
also.
and the lit aspect, I mean, that's a secondary aspect. The lit aspect of it is a large amount of halo lighting, but certainly up for you guys to discuss.
But the thing, I suppose what I'm getting to is with regard to the guidelines that we have that are existing for us at the moment, is there anything that is not fitting the guidelines?
Well, again, it's up to your purview to, it's your discretion. So
Yeah.
they are not, there isn't anything that is outright prohibited. So now it's up to this commission to determine whether it fits into the character. of
That's where I thought it was.
Historical character of
So
Main
that's
Street.
exactly where it is. It's
I
the
think
historical
The
character.
thing that is amazing, it kind of reminds me of Atlantic City or
Right.
Coney Island.
Gonna say that.
Right,
Yeah.
the red light district,
Yeah.
where historic Main
Intimate
Street.
apparel and smoke shop could be nice, I guess I have a problem with the amazing.
Yeah, that actually, like I said, I'm here representing the sign company, and this business, like, they have like over 40 stores over in Massachusetts, so it's kind of hard to tell them to change the name right now.
So it is a chain.
Yeah,
Let me ask a
yeah,
question.
it's a local
But it-
chain, but it
They
is.
could do it differently.
Sure.
Let me ask a question. How about if it was black and white instead of purple and white? Would that change anybody's thoughts? Just asking the commissioners.
No, the shape to
Still
me
3D
is-
lighting?
It's a very contemporary looking sign. It's,
Temporary.
it looks like on the top of the hot dog cart at the fair.
Yeah.
That corner, it's a very busy corner. Your windows attract a lot of attention as it is. And then the sign is just going to be more attention. And I know you want the business, it's just, to me, it's just a little too much, in my opinion. Over the top.
Yes.
Should be softened.
Especially when you look down the way and you have like Tap City Grill, which is just a very elegant kind of classic sign.
Right.
So I think what we're alluding to is, because one of our, as Jim has indicated and clarified, that we have wiggle room. But the thing is, we are also tasked with protecting the historic character of the town. But I also respect and recognize that this is the name of their company, so they can't really change it without changing all the others or just for here. And they did purchase they're having that space on the basis of that name. I think Commissioner Matthews made a good suggestion about possibly if we could change the color and not have it illuminated as such, like black and white or something, as opposed to the purple, or is there any chance you can, what would people prefer? We can't change the name of the company.
No.
It's all right with me.
Do you,
I like amazing.
do they have any stores in a historic district, or are they all in malls and stuff like that?
I'm not sure.
That's not, thank you.
Yeah, no,
You know,
I'm not sure.
it's their name, but, McDonald's has a name, and in some areas, they tone down their buildings and their signs for specific areas.
Yep,
It is done,
I
even
agree.
though it's your trademark. And I think it just should be toned down for the historic area and the corner that it's on, in Hyannis.
I'm looking at a sign right now that's in Kittery, Maine, Amazing and Intimate Essentials. It's purple, but it's just a flat sign, nothing really like out of the, let me see if I can pull it up easier. There it is. See that sign? It's just a simple flat sign you can put on the wall. It's not backlit. It's not, fancy, kind of new agey kind of. It's just a regular sign flat against the wall. Yeah, please. It's the one in Kittery, Maine. So, I mean, I think that even the, I mean,
yeah.
the color's purple, it is what it is. But I mean, that's a little bit more what I think we want to see on Main Street in Hyannis, you know what I mean?
It would also seem to indicate that this company has adjusted its presentation of the name in some places.
Oh, yes, yeah. So, would be like no 3D letters or no lights? Like,
I would go, if it was,
Flat.
I think if you went flat like that and you had lighting on it, like downward lights on it to light it up, I think that would work much better. It would fit in much better to the area, put it that way.
yeah, would the 3D letters be too much
Yes,
I think so.
yeah.
It's a little bit too,
without the lights?
yeah, it's a little bit too over the top.
Yeah, it's not really
I like
too
personally-
high. It's like,
I like it, but it's very new age, you know what I mean?
oh,
It's,
definitely.
which is,
Yeah,
and
I
that's
agree.
what we're trying to protect, that our district to be, is not have that kind of a new age look.
He means over the top, like, as a figure of speech,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
higher than.
Right.
No, no,
Oh,
yeah,
I'm sorry, yeah.
I understand that.
Excuse me. So, the general feeling has kind of been expressed. Have you presented to commissions before?
No, not this one.
So, what happens is we take a vote, and you have to have at least 4 votes. So, judging by some of the response that you're getting, do you have the authority to change it, or would you like us to, we can continue it so that you can come back to us?
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk to the owner actually to see
Okay,
what
that's
he wants.
fine, and I totally appreciate
Yeah,
that.
no, that's no big deal. We can talk to him.
Okay.
So the suggestion is to be a flat sign with just the name and no lights and just lights from outside.
Yeah.
And actually,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
and Kettering, Maine, that's the one that seems to be.
Okay.
Okay, so in that case,
It wouldn't even hurt if we had period correct letter style instead
Yeah.
of the,
Yes,
you know.
that would be
The
nice.
old
Yeah.
fire truck lettering can say amazing, but it's
Yeah.
a softer.
I mean, they do have their own, it is a logo, so I mean, I understand if they don't want to change their lettering, that's what their
Yeah.
logo is. But at least by doing the suggestions, by going with the suggestions we're giving you, it makes it a lot easier for us to be able to say, okay, we can make that work.
I like softening, I agree with you.
I agree. I think the lettering should, you
Yeah.
can adjust the lettering, adjust the logo.
Yeah, without adjusting the logo.
Yeah.
Historicalizing.
It is. That if you look at, I'm looking at all their websites, that's the lettering on all their
But we're in
signs.
the historic.
I understand that, but it also is their logo.
I'd have to do
Yeah, I
it
don't
for
think they'll
here.
be able to change the letter itself, the font, but to be a flat sign, I think it's not gonna be a problem. We can talk to them. And, yeah, about the size, it's fine. We can keep it the same size, 6x2.
As long as that fits what it's supposed to be, yeah, sure.
I
Okay,
don't see any reason why not.
okay.
So,
Didn't you say
Is-
it had to be zoning for that?
It needs to comply with zoning, so I can confirm, and I'll get in touch with you if there's any discrepancies there.
10% of its,
10%? Yeah, they probably already looked at that before.
so is there anyone, I'll open for public comment if there is a public comment. And I will go ahead and close public comment then, just not trying not to ignore anybody who might be here to say something. And can I ask one of the commissioners to please make a motion for continuance to our next meeting on June 5th?
I'll make that motion that we continue this till
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Matthews. Commissioner Clark.
Aye.
Commissioner Hinckley Needham.
Aye.
Commissioner Doherty.
Aye.
Commissioner Matthews.
Aye.
I also say aye. So if you can get back to us, and there's no penalty or anything because you're still well within the time frame. Okay? If you have any questions, contact the planning department.
Perfect, sounds good. Sounds good.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much,
Nice
guys. You have a good
presentation.
night. Thank you.
Yes, good night. Thank you.
Take care, have a good night.
All right, so,
look at that store. I'm not allowed to look at that store.
Tom, I like how you're like, the things inside your windows gather enough attention. It sure does.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, right, okay.
You know, but the difference is if it had Victoria's Secrets across the top,
This is for
it would
later.
be a whole
Okay.
different story.
Okay, yeah, I did see the date.
Really? Yeah.
All right, so that's down for that one. Now, the next one is discussion on the Cordial Eye and Hyannis Public Library, 401 Main Street, Hyannis map 326, parcel 013, community art wall extension request. You're up. Welcome back. How many commissioners were commissioner a year ago? I think everybody except for Commissioner Matthews, right?
No, I was here when we discussed this.
Oh, you were?
Oh, yeah.
Jennifer, were you here? Excellent, okay. I didn't know if I needed to do a background. He's not here, yeah.
By the way, when this says expired June 2024, are we talking June 1st or June 30th? Do we know? Just wondering.
What was
I
the,
don't have it in front of me, but I believe it's June 1st.
June 1st,
yeah, I
okay.
think it is June 1st. All right.
Hello, good to see
Hi.
you all again.
Hello.
So I'd love to provide a little bit of an update on our first pilot year of programming at the Community Art Wall, which I think has been a really successful endeavor. So during that time, we were able to obtain funding to have 2 professionally commissioned murals put up on the wall. And so the first, I believe, had already been done at the last time we connected, which was by local and internationally renowned artist Joey Mars. He created a really cool kind of nautical in his cartoon style mural for the ribbon cutting of the space. And then several months later, we had Boston-based artist Felipe Ortiz, who works all around the country and all around the Commonwealth doing mural work. And in fact, last summer was actually exhibited at the Cape Cod Museum of Art as well. And he created he does a lot of nature-based art, and so he created a really lovely piece as well featuring a number of native species. One of the things that was really special about his work on the wall is a teen artist from the community had kind of happened upon the wall, just like riding his bike by, and he said, you know, what's going on here? He said, oh, this is the Hyannis Community Art Wall. This is what it is. There's actually an artist coming tomorrow to start work on a mural, and this teenager proceeded to spend the next 3 days for like 10 hours a day working next to Felipe, and we thought it was a really great demonstrative moment of the power of this type of space, that it's creating this like democratic location where very high-level professional artists are interacting with teenagers in our community side by side. We've also had upwards of half a dozen community paint days, and a lot of those have been in conjunction with larger efforts by both our neighboring institutions and kind of the town and the bid as well. We were here for most of the First Friday events that happened last summer and fall, hosting community paint nights, and we're also able to bring in local musicians from the community, including several appearances of student bands from Sturgis Charter High School, who came and played music during those times as well. Those were great occasions of community encounter. We also hosted community paint days on both Open Streets Days last year, and additionally facilitated some work or some opportunities to create around the art wall for the Hyannis Public Library's inaugural Comic-Con event, which happened last, I think, in April. Lost track of the year already. But yeah, it's bred way to a lot of great collaborations and encounters with community members that like don't necessarily engage with the happenings of Main Street on a really regular basis. We were also awarded funding from the Massachusetts Cultural Council through a program called the STARS Residency Program that brings professional artists into K-12 schools in Massachusetts for artist residencies. And so we did a residency with Barnstable Public High School where we had an artist that we work with, who has expertise in street art, go to Barnstable High School on 3 separate occasions to educate the students there about the history of street art and develop some of their techniques around aerosol art, and then it culminated in bringing just over 100 students down to the Hyannis Public Library for the day to create on the wall itself. And we were also able to provide some, we couldn't have all 110 of them on the wall at the same time, so we broke them up into groups, and some of them were watching a documentary about the development of a street artist collective in the 1990s in the library. We had some across the street. We rented some space from the Mass Air and Space Museum. We had an artist educating them about the creation of wheat paste ups. And then we also had an artist working with students on the creation of stencils. So it was this really great it's like multifaceted artistic opportunity that involved a lot of different artists and educators in the community. And it was, really invigorating and really enthusiastically received by Barnstable Public High School and their fine arts department. And so we've already been asked to try to duplicate the program for next year, and have had requests from several other schools in the area to try to obtain the same source of funding for their schools in the coming year. So we anticipate, if we're given permission to extend the life of this project, that we'll be able to bring now that we kind of have an established way that this residency program works, that we'll be able to spread this opportunity to a variety of schools in the area. Some other kind of more anecdotal things that we have noticed and experienced from feedback from our constituents is a large sense of community pride. A lot of people, frankly, were like, we never thought we'd have something like this in Hyannis, and like, we can't believe this is here, and like, wow, people will actually listen sometimes. And so, especially from some younger folks in our community that I think often struggle with feelings of disenfranchisement, this was really heartening and encouraging that like there is a place that I belong, and people who care about what I want, which is a big, part of our mission as the Cordial Eye is trying to make our community a place of belonging for everyone. And I think that this project really facilitated those feelings for a lot of folks. We saw a lot of engagement from people who, aren't necessarily, I think I referenced this before, that like aren't necessarily like coming to all the open street stuff or like necessarily very like civically engaged, but, they want to come and make their mark on this wall. A lot of folks used it as an occasion to memorialize loved ones that have passed, or vocalize thoughts about their community. I do want to add to that as far as I am aware, with our daily maintenance of this wall, there's been no violation of our guidelines around obscenity or content on the wall. So, some of the things that we kind of feared last time we spoke about this have not come to pass, and folks have generally been really respectful of our guidelines around the space. And then something else I wanted to indicate was, some questions came up when we last spoke about this, is like, how will this impact tourists that don't call this community home, and, whom we often rely on for a lot of economic externalities in this community. And our experience with our community paint days were that lots of tourists that we interacted with really loved this. We actually had some folks that were visiting from out of state last June, I believe, who said, wow, I really wish they had this in my community. And when they got a can of spray paint, they tagged "I love Cape Cod" on the wall, which we thought was really fun. So we've seen that it's something that resonates with both local communities as well as visiting communities. We think moving forward, the opportunity for more professionally commissioned work, as well as partnership with schools, are really what's the word I'm looking for? Like a really exciting potential further development. And I think also the location of this wall is really advantageous to a lot of the cultural happenings in the community. We have the High Arts Campus, which now has the Cultural Center as resident. The Cordial Eye has our artist studio spaces across the street. And so we have about 17 artists and entrepreneurs that are creating like just across the street and who often contributes to the wall, and the Hyannis Public Library, which is a huge engine of cultural action in this community. So it's been a good year. I think there's lots of potential for continued development and collaboration around this space. And yeah, happy to answer any questions that folks might have.
Great presentation. So, just to remind the commissioners that a year ago, and I believe it was the second time you came to us, we did a continuance there as well. And we had conditions, and one of the conditions was that if there were, because we weren't really sure, and there were some who expressed doubt, but we only gave it a 1 year, and it was to see if those conditions, could be adhered to, that if there were any complaints, that we could ask them to please come back in and see if we could find a way to address those. There were restrictions like no political, vote for me and, all this. It's not a billboard. Even though some could argue that a billboard could be an expression of art, but it wasn't to be misused. No profanity. We had to remember that this is a family community and try to maintain it that way. And also, if it was misused, that they would have, what do you call them? The things you spray.
Stencils.
Stencils.
Yeah.
That's it. You did say it earlier. Stencils, so that they could make sure that those were not seen. And that they would keep the area clean, and that it would be regularly monitored. We did invite you to come back once and address that issue. And to my belief, it has been addressed. But that's just kind of bringing it back. How do the commissioners feel about this? And by the way, just great presentation.
Thank you.
I'll start. When you first came here a year ago, we talked about art. It was going to be art for everybody, and we gave you the summer to do the art wall. And it turned out to be graffiti art. And that was, when you came in the second time, you said that's what you're after, is graffiti art. And I think there were a lot of comments then, like, the one artist who did the first, I've watched this weekly for the whole year, and I see very little activity there. And I go there a lot. But that first panel that some artists did, I guess it was like, you mentioned it was like underwater sea animals.
The first installation was done by Joey Mars, and then there was a second that was also like an underwater scene by Felipe Ortiz.
But it was more along the lines of what they did at the Cape Cod Museum of Art.
Yeah, Felipe is more of a muralist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of thought this was going to be. And the last time you were here, you said the kids could not get to the top of the other 3 panels, and you were going to hire artists who did the top of the 3 panels. And I just see the same thing. It's graffiti art. And again, with me, I grew up in New York. Graffiti was always a sign of a declining city, okay? And they spent millions of dollars cleaning it up. So when I saw that first panel with that artist, I got excited. I thought you were going to go more in a direction of this, where everybody could enjoy the art. Not everybody enjoys graffiti art. And I guess I just don't see too much change.
I would disagree with that. I mean, we monitor the wall on a very frequent basis, and there are new pieces added, I would say, at least on a weekly basis to the space. But I think, I believe we did have kind of an extensive discussion around sort of the content wall, and sort of the point of an installation like this is that it is a very democratic space. And, we do have folks. We've had folks that have done like paste up art, so they create a wheat paste with paper and install drawings on the wall. We've had folks out there with Sharpies. Generally for a space like this, I would say that part of our inspiration for putting this forward is that there are not a lot of opportunities that are for folks that are creating with aerosol paint to be able to do that work within community. So that is a frequent usage of this wall. But yeah, I mean, I guess, I would say that I disagree. I think there's been quite a few iterations. Definitely during the colder seasons of the year, there's less activity just because it's an outdoor space. But yeah, I mean, I don't believe that we ever made any agreement on our end that it was going to be all mural art. I think we've always maintained that this is a space that we want to keep, appropriate for the whole age range of the community in terms of content. And, we have stood by that agreement and monitored that very faithfully. But in terms of the, exact manner of creating on the wall, it was always intended to be a space that was open. And I think in terms of I'm sure not everyone in this community likes graffiti art. I would disagree with the sentiment that it's a sign of a declining space. That's not what our research has indicated. And in fact, having a designated space for this kind of art typically statistically results in less illegal graffiti happening in other areas, which has been a problem on Main Street. And I would say, especially across the street in 430 to 438 Main, where the Mass Air and Space Museum is, there has been a marked decline of graffiti on the brick wall in that alleyway over the last year. And it's, it's kind of hard to prove if the legal wall is the cause for that, but I will say we have observed and confirmed a vast decline in illegal tagging. But, I think it's a matter of taste. There's going to be no work of art that anyone can put up publicly that's going to be favorable to everyone. And I think that's sort of the nature,
No,
the
I
nature
agree
of
with
art.
that, but I thought it was going to change, so you're going to have different types of art. That was what I kind of thought, so you could incorporate everybody. This is just graffiti art. And graffiti art got the term in 1967 in Philadelphia, okay? And that's where graffiti started, and they started writing on the walls. And it was a decline of a city. And it is associated with that. But taking that all away, and liking it or not, does it fit into the historic district? I think that's what we have to sit here. And, you hear people saying it's wonderful and it's great. I hear people, how did that happen? Okay? In the town. So it's a matter of opinion and a matter of taste. But I guess, I would love to see, murals like this. I think this would be beautiful. History of Hyannis. Okay, let's go down that. Go down that road.
Could you pass this around?
I go in there every week. Okay, and I'm not the smartest person in the world, and I sit in front of those things and I'm trying to make heads and tails out of what's going on, and I can't. Okay, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who can't. So it's not for the enjoyment of the whole town. It's enjoyment for a special person who's into this type of art, okay?
I would disagree with that, though, because we have many, many people who come and utilize this wall that are not necessarily particularly interested in aerosol art or street art that are able to come and enjoy this communal experience of creating. And, with all due respect, my whole entire professional life is dedicated to engaging with the artistic and creative happenings in our community. So this is what I do with my whole week, every week, is engage with people who are interested in this type of cultural interaction. And I think, again, any visual representation of anything that we put in this community, you could say is for a particular group of people. Some people feel that way about all of the historic guidelines in general, that this is about a particular group of people who care about this, and it doesn't apply to me. And so I think that it's something that is really important to be thoughtful about as we move forward as a community, that, we're deciding whose feelings matter. And
We're just trying to keep Main Street historic.
Yeah.
I mean, as I have said before, you would be hard-pressed to find a more historic form of art than street art, which way precedes 1967. There are records of it in ancient Rome.
But we're talking about Cape
That's street art. You're talking two different things. You're talking street art or you're talking graffiti art. art. Okay, that's two different things.
Commissioner Doherty, could you pass his around for all the commissioners to see? And also clarify, and correct me if I'm wrong, when this first came to us, it was being referred to as aerosol art? Is that,
Yeah, I
am
mean, that is,
incorrect
that
on
is a
that?
term that is
Yeah.
used. And so there, and again, not all of the art that is affixed on that wall meets that criteria. There are different installations that occur based on the preferred media of the artist. I would say it's definitely a very popular, aerosol art is a very popular choice just based on the availability of spaces to create in that medium in the area.
So if I could just interject with my thoughts, this was the first real topic that I remember being a part of as part of this commission, the second time you came in. And I remember at those meetings, there were a couple of big objections. Number one, if we do this, we're going to see graffiti popping up all over the place around the town. Correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't seen any mass graffiti tagging going on since this wall went up. The other thing was, well, we could have obscenity and political statements and stuff. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but you said that every single morning your people go out there and take a look at the wall, and if they have to whitewash it to get rid of it, they do.
And they've never had to.
I've never seen any complaints and any kind of, I've never received any, you know, I work at a radio station. We never received any calls. I've never seen any emails. I've never seen anything where someone's like, oh, this is awful. I just haven't seen it. And if we're going to have a free-flowing artistic canvas up there, what better place than a library so the kids who actually go there can actually learn about art and be taught about art and can understand art a little bit better. I don't think this is a major, abrupt platform in the historical district. This is a library. This is something that people get a chance to share their creativity. And I agree with you, Tom. Some of the stuff I'm like, I don't get this. But art's not subjective. It's objective. It's everybody has their own thought of what art is. And I don't think you can do it in a situation where you look at something like that, because some of these kids could never maybe do something like that. But that doesn't mean we should stop them from being able to express their artistic design. So I think it's an independent, free-flowing design that people can change. It constantly moves. When Buffett died, I went there. I saw people had Buffett tributes and stuff. I mean, people take the world and they express it through art, and I think it's a good thing. So again, I personally support the wall as long as everything that we've talked about continues to be in play, where there's no obscenities, there's no political, there's no, increased tagging now all over the place. And I don't see it and I don't hear it. So I personally continue to support this.
Anyone else have anything? I do have something to say, but I'd like to leave mine to
I think they
last.
have done a very good job, policing it as far as the graffiti goes. Again, does it fit in this town? Does it fit in the historic district to come in and just seeing all that graffiti in the parking lot? That's my problem with this.
I understand.
Not the free art, and I'm all for it.
Yep.
I'm a patron at the Cape Cod Museum of Art. I've been there for years, okay? And you're right, art is subjective, and I told them that. But does this belong here? On Main, where all these people park here in the summer, and they see all this graffiti, and they don't understand what's going on, 80% of the people. Does it belong in the historic district?
By the way, you bring up a good part. You should have some kind of a write-up, like a sign of.
We do. We have
Is it
signage there in English and Portuguese explaining what the wall is and what the rules are. And again, as somebody that has frequented quite a few community events over the last year that have been bypassed by huge different demographic swaths of the community and participated with, I'm not encountering this person, this 80% of people that don't know what this is. I mean, I think it's pretty self-explanatory and very well understood, and we really try to make an effort to be engaged with the community at a variety of public events to make sure that that information can continue to be shared.
Do anything like you split it, do a couple of the panels and nice mural art, and then leave the other two for the way you want to do it?
Yeah, so typically the first panel on that wall is reserved for professionally commissioned work. At this time, it's in a little bit of a different state simply because we just had Barnstable High School there, and with the quantity of students that were involved with the work, we needed to open that space up for them to contribute to that. But that will be, pending the continuation of the wall, that space will continue to be, cycled through by professional level artists creating their work there. Yeah, I mean, I think that I'll also say that, as an arts organization in the community that sometimes, very often rather, engages with content that's outside of our dominant culture here on Cape Cod. People have no problem telling us when they hate what we're doing and are offended by this. And truly, I have not gotten a single piece of negative feedback from a community member about this wall. And people are not shy about telling us that they hate a thing we're doing. And so this has just not been my experience as somebody professionally tasked with monitoring the space, that it has had a negative impact, and really by far in the other direction. And
You can go back and forth. I hear the opposite. So why can't we come to a meeting of the minds here? Let's do 2 panels in nice mural art, and then you're going to have 2 panels for the graffiti art and for your students. You said the students are only on the last wall anyway, right?
No. So right now there are 4 panels. One of them is for professionally commissioned work, and the other 3 are for open community usage.
Just the bottom. 'Cause
So
you said you commissioned people for the top.
we usually have, it's not commissioned in as formal of a way. Typically what we do is that we will be in touch with an artist that works with our organization and say, could you put something on the top? And that's primarily due to safety concerns, just that the library doesn't want people out there on ladders. And so when there are folks working on that, we have them sign a waiver, and most folks honestly aren't really making the attempt. People are not bringing their ladders out there to get up that high on the wall. So it's, I would say the bottom 2/3 of the 3 right panels as you're looking at the wall are the ones that are there for community usage.
When you say commission, by the way, are you paying these artists to paint?
Yeah.
So, that's just it's a waste of money.
And it's a burden on us as a very small organization where, to be frank, we're donating a lot of our administrative time to do the work of our organization at this point, and to have to raise another,
Kevin,
$7,500 a year.
I agree.
At least they're not asking us for the money to fund it. Since they're doing it on their own, I don't want to tell them how they spend their money.
I agree with Tom. I think that art is nice, and I think if someone wants to paint it, they should. I don't think you stop anybody from doing something more artistic or less graffiti and more, however it is, whatever the different terms of art are. Mm-hmm. You're not discouraging that and saying this is only for aerosol.
Absolutely
so, I guess another question, trying to go on the kind of meeting in the middle. Can you do more as a library, as an organization, to reach out to more quote unquote traditional artists and ask them to to encourage them? It's not just graffiti art or aerosol art. It's also for paintings, abstracts, whatever the case is. Can you do more to try to bring another facet of art in?
Yeah, I mean, we can certainly encourage that. And I just want to clarify that myself and my colleague who just arrived, we don't work for the library. So we're the co-executive directors of the Cordial, which is a nonprofit arts organization. And the library is the host of this project and our partner on this project, but we primarily manage the wall. And so, again, that's something that we're happy to do. Again, I don't want to I'm not comfortable kind of guaranteeing that okay, it's going to be this type of art, this percentage of the time and this percentage of the space that is deemed acceptable for these subjective reasons. And I think sort of the point of this space is that folks in the community did not feel like they had a large-scale space where they were able to create freely, and restricting and commissioning large portions of that space kind of go against the mission of the space to begin with. So I would just kind of put that forward, but...
I understand that. I agree. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, again, because you can have people of different minds here.
Yeah.
So trying to meet in the middle, if you could, the library would have you, just make sure to do more of a reach out to all other artists as well, not just the air art, the graffiti art, the aerosol art, but also to other artists with different genres of art. Maybe that would make some people on the board who are feeling a certain way or on the committee more comfortable saying, all right, let's give it another shot. I think if you're sticking hard with it's going to be aerosol, that's it, I think you may not be able to get the results you want. I'm open to it, but I also understand that there are others on the committee that would like to see different kinds of art, because it's a public art wall that I'm sure there's lots of different kinds of art we could put on it. So that's why I'm saying if you could at least, you can't guarantee who's going to come out, but at least guarantee that you'll reach out to different artists in what they do. And if they don't do it, they don't do it. I think we understand that. But at least if there's some kind of an approach to try to talk to different kinds of artists and different things, that may make other people more comfortable with trying to keep it that way. So just a thought.
So I totally agree. And as you say, for people to express freely, there are people who would look at Dali's art and they would say, oh, that's not real art because I prefer the Rembrandt type, or Van Gogh. That when that Impressionism first came in, it was kind of, what's this? But if we're going to have to express freely, then I would say allow the murals, to allow other things that might be somewhat different. I must admit, I do tend to support the arts, and I support the project. My daughter's an artist, and she has educated me in a number of areas of art. I look at that and I say, oh, okay, that's interesting, that artist. One of the things that I believe came up a year ago was that there would be a sign-in and maybe a response book. Did that happen? Do we know how many people participated, signed in, and gave responses?
I don't have the number off the top of my head. I should have checked in with the library about this beforehand, but there is a sign-in process. So the wall is, per the signage out front, is permitted for usage at times when the library is open. And so folks are instructed to go into the library. They receive a lanyard that they wear around their neck saying that they, have signed in and are able to, permitted to use the wall during that time. And so I don't have a figure on that, unfortunately.
Might I suggest that you expand that so if this does pass and it comes back, we know not only who's signing in, but a response and where they're from. How many tourists is it attracting? How many locals are they attracting? That sort of thing might be helpful. It's a suggestion.
And I would say that some of that we certainly can capture some of that data a little bit more effectively. I would say also, though, a lot of the activity from community members are during these community-oriented events where people are passing through and we have professionals there kind of monitoring the process live, so the sign-in process doesn't happen during those occasions.
What days are these events? Are they advertised?
Oh, yeah. The
They are
First Fridays,
advertised,
the open streets. We've done it in collaboration with the library's Comic-Con event. I feel like there's something else that I'm forgetting. But often when there's like a Main Street thing going on.
So it's a few times a year then?
Yeah, I would say over the last year it was probably about 8 different community paint nights. And then, in addition to that, our residency program with Barnstable High School, the professional murals, and as well as the folks that use it on a sporadic basis, not in conjunction with an official event.
And I agree with you, Tom. I prefer the murals as well. I'm not into graffiti art, but I do recognize that it is a form of art. My concern personally was that it was restricted, so it wasn't the angry, like, go assassinate so-and-so. It wasn't political, as in vote for this, don't vote for them, and that kind of things.
But we also were not told it was, from the beginning, we were not told it was graffiti art.
We're told it was aerosol art, which
I don't ever remember that.
Yeah, it was.
I can pull out our report from that, but I think we were very clear from the beginning, and we provided images of different types of wall of this nature in like Venice Beach, in Monaco Way, Cambridge, as well as I believe there's one in Beverly, as well as the other one here in Massachusetts.
So actually, you're hitting on a point here. I think when you're going to call it a public art wall, you have to open it up to any public art. And it's not just aerosol. It could be somebody who wants to paint a mural. It could be somebody who wants to paint a beach scene.
And it is.
That has happened.
Okay.
It is.
Okay, but what I mean, though, is, again,
Actively.
right. I mean, when you, again, I wasn't here for the first initial meeting that you said aerosol wall, but I would have been like, well, how about someone else? I mean, how about somebody who's got a different kind of art? You know,
Yeah, one mural all year, and I was in that first panel, and the rest of it has been aerosol all over.
And I think that was our agreement. That's what was approved by the commission, was that one panel would be professionally commissioned art and the rest open community use. So I feel like, you know, we have been really faithful to everything that was asked of us.
How can we move forward with all this?
Right. And so I think that,
How can
yeah, I mean, we've discussed this at length as a group over the last year. And again, I think we have met every requirement that was agreed to by this commission. We think this project is really important to a lot of people in this community. And I think that, you know, especially in this time of a lot of like societal and political unrest, it's very important for folks to feel that they are cared about and have a place of belonging in the communities where they live. And I think, you know, we've asked this question several times, like, does this belong in the historic district? And I guess the question I would pose back is like, well, do the people who live here that are creating on it, do they belong? This is their community and they want this here. And so when we say like this thing that you love and is important to you doesn't belong here, what is that saying to those community members? And I think the impacts of that are very serious, and we see sometimes really the life and death impacts.
Other community members that don't like that type of art. Okay, you're talking about the type community members that like that art. We're talking about everybody. That's why we wanted it opened up to more artists. Last time when we were here, you said you were going to look into different types of art. You were going to commission the top part of all four, and I could guess check our notes.
I think
That-
it's one
I
panel.
do remember
one
that,
panel.
Tom. Yep.
Is it the top?
Four
Okay.
panels, and that has not happened. You know, yes, you're keeping it clean, and you're doing all that. I'm not taking that away from you, but it's one type of art, and we're asking for more types of art. Okay, not just your group that likes aerosol art. There are other artists that like a lot of different types of art, and that's what we're asking you. So if those top panels could be murals and the side panel be murals, you still have 3 panels to do whatever you want to do.
Or other types of art
Other types of art.
that does not violate the conditions.
But that's what you told us last time, that you were going to do. And I go by it regularly, and the only thing I saw was nothing across the top. But the one panel, it was great mural art. One time it was there for a few weeks, and then it was gone.
That's not true. The professionally commissioned work on that first panel was there for about 11 months, and just in the last month was painted over by Barnstable High School because of our residency program that we did and our necessity for that space. And the top portions have been painted over several times by professional level artists. It's not commissioned in the same formal process for funding reasons, but that has been attended to by artists that are painting at a higher level for the majority of this last year.
Except for that first panel that you say was there 11 months, okay? It all looks alike. The top parts, the bottom parts, it's all the same type of art. And we're saying, can't we get different types of art?
Respectfully, Commissioner Powell, we've been in this situation 3 times now. No new information has been presented since the first 5 minutes of this, which was a very nice presentation. Thank you. We have quorum. If nobody objects, can we please move to public comment and get a vote? We're not here to debate societal issues. It's, are we going to approve this or not?
Okay, fair comment. That's where I just circled public comment. If none of the commissioners object, I am going to, we do have 2 people here. Is there anyone for public comment? Nope. Okay. In that case,
I have a question.
okay.
I don't see anywhere on this application how long they want to extend this time.
That is for us to determine. That is for us to determine what it would be extended for.
Well, they're asking for a determination by the 1st of June, but
We can
we
just-
have to decide the length of time.
We have to decide the length of time. My suggestion, and I want to stress here, the reason I wait till last is because I never try to use my influence on the commission. So that's why I wait till last. But so that I can be impartial in that. My personal feeling is that we extend for another year. And with that, to stress the top panels to please, that would be reserved as it was supposed to be. And to definitely encourage other types of art. Same conditions that were there before, non-political, non-anger, encouraging other people to be hurt, that kind, the same things that you were happy with before. Just so that it may be in the write-up where they sign in, to put in there that, murals, different types of art, and to encourage it, and also the schools you're bringing in to encourage that type of art. That's personally how I feel about it. I don't like graffiti art either, but I also recognize it's a lot of people that do like graffiti art. I'm personally one with, I do like modern art, but it's more in line with, Impressionism and those kind of things. But I also respect other people's taste. So there is nobody for public comment, so I'm going to close public comment. I am going to ask staff, Jim, do you have anything to add into this? I mean, it's not like it's zoning or anything like that. But.
No, just a reminder that the request here is an extension of the current projects to Commissioner Kay's point, in collaboration with the applicant, rendering, if you're going to extend to a date certain, and certainly eligible to add additional conditions such as what the chair had mentioned. That's all.
How do you feel about that?
I'll extend it to, I don't want to do a year.
Okay. What would you suggest?
I'd like to, last year we did the summer. This is your busiest time, right, that you're coming in right now?
I would actually say that in terms of our future hopes for this wall, a big part of what we're trying to develop is collaboration with school programs. So we were able to pilot that this year and get funding from the state, which was very successful. And so in order for that objective to be realized, we have to have some time over the course of the academic year.
How would you feel till the end of the year? End of the year, i.e., 2024.
That's fine, but again, we're going to ask for mural art on the first panel and then across the top.
Well, not necessarily mural. There may be impressionism, other type,
other art.
encourage other types of art, yeah.
Not the same type of art that we've been saying.
I really think that's the whole key. And again, as somebody who supports the project, I think the key is when you're talking about free-flowing art and all that kind of stuff in a public wall, you got to give all aspects of the public, no matter what their artistic choice, to be able to use that wall. So to encourage that and to solicit that from the schools, you work with the schools already. Hey, listen, guys, it doesn't have to be spray painting. Maybe you want to paint a sunset or whatever. It can be any kind of painting, any kind of art that you do. We want to see you at the wall. I think by doing that, you may encourage more people who want to do something different to be up on that wall. And I think that will really, I think that'll be more of a credit to that wall, is that more people with more different artistic expressions could be on that wall.
And you actually had said yourself, it's an opportunity to express freely their artistics, and that falls right in line with that, to encourage other types.
Yeah, and it has always been and will continue to be a democratic space. Again, I would say just the nature of the space is that folks that are creating in other styles have other places to do that, which is why I think they're not like flocking to the space in the way that folks that are creating with aerosol art do.
Have you asked them?
Yeah, I mean, our whole
Because I know you focus on aerosol art. So have you gone to Barnstable High School and gone into the abstract arts or whatever the case is and go, hey, you can use this wall too?
Yeah, I mean, and when we had them for our residency program, there were a variety of different types of art being created. It wasn't all just like graffiti style art. So there were stencils, there were paste ups, there were illustrations.
Okay, I think
so
that's...
yeah, I mean, we can continue to definitely pursue that in an intentional way.
I think what we're doing right now is the equivalent to approving a sign and then trying to tell the store owner who their clientele has to be. And we can't do that. So I think we need to look at it at the merit of what it is and not try to instruct them on who's using it.
Well, but opening it up, like you would open a store to all customers, and opening
You
it up.
can't do, you can't tell Santander who they have to let in the bank.
I'm not
after
saying
you
who, I'm
approve the
saying
sign.
it's that it's encourage other types of art.
You can't tell them to encourage a certain type of clientele. So I think we're out of line on that. I think we need to say, does it stay there and we give them a year or not?
I think we just want to make sure that all types of art are encouraged to go on the art wall. That's all, period.
I
It's
agree with
that simple.
That's what we're saying.
Period, yeah. It's not a bank, it's not a particular customer.
Yeah.
You know,
We're not
I don't think there's
specifying.
anything wrong with that, really.
We're not mandating it. We're not saying it has, you have to do this. I think we're just saying, let's open it up, make sure we're encouraging all artists to be able to feel like they can use
Yes,
it. That's all. I think that's the
exactly. I
important
agree.
part.
We've
That's
hammered
not
that,
limiting
I
and
know.
specifying.
hammered that home.
That's exactly what we're saying.
So with that being the case, with the renewed encouragement of all different types of art on the art wall at the Hyannis Public Library,
And the same conditions as.
in the same conditions, no profanity, no political whitewashing, anything that comes up. With all that, I would propose that we extend their request until December 31st, 2024.
I'll take that as a motion. Is there a second?
I second, but also, if, we can call you in if we don't see.
That was one of the conditions that was in writing.
Yeah, that, we can call you in.
You already said the conditions, yeah.
Then I second.
Okay, so that's seconded by Commissioner Doherty. All right, Commissioner Matthews.
Aye.
Commissioner Clark.
Aye.
Commissioner Hinckley Needham.
Aye.
Commissioner Doherty.
Aye.
Commissioner Kay.
Aye.
I also say aye.
Thank you. Yeah, we hope to not see you until the end of the year, unless you're out there painting on the wall.
But you love us anyway.
Thank you all.
Thank you for a very nice presentation. Okay.
That's always a lot of fun.
Bye, Charlie.
Bye, Charlie. Thank you for coming.
Charlie's
Oh,
going to try to
but-
build some fences.
Nope, he got away. I wanted to see if he had anything to say. All right, do we have a date for that design group?
Yep, yeah, so the working group of the officers is on 5/24 on that Friday. Sent out a calendar invite to the three that are participating, and then obviously through that working group, we'll present out to the full commission at a public meeting.
And can you confirm who's on that group?
Yes, the
Separate.
officers, so it's Ms. Powell, Mr. Kay, Mr. Doherty, and also the chair of the planning board will join us. He's already confirmed that.
Thank you.
Real quick, just a reminder, no June 19th meeting because of Juneteenth. And a reminder that I believe we do need to vote on officers in June. Is that
Yes.
correct, Karen?
Yep.
Thank you.
So
I will
think
take
about it.
bribes, by the way. I'm just kidding. It's a joke. It's a joke. Just whoever's looking, I'm
Oh,
kidding.
you get shot today.
Who's the third person?
Tom, Tom, Jack, and myself.
Yep.
Cheryl, Jack, and Tom, okay.
I'm so easily forgotten.
Well, he said he's okay.
That's 10 o'clock next Friday.
That sounds right, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 o'clock or 2 to 3?
I believe it's 10. I could send out a reminder
I thought you
tomorrow.
said 2 to 3. I don't mind. I'll make anything work. Okay. So next meeting is June 5th. And we don't have the June 19th, so on June 5th, we'll we'll be doing the elections and the nominations, yeah, the nominations. So if, existing officers, make it known if you would like to continue. And also if anyone else is interested to make that known as well. Okay? All right. One of the things I did want to say, I was going to ask our town council liaison if he had anything he wanted to contribute. And I'm so really pleased that he comes so often. That it's wonderful. And I also want to thank the commissioners because even though we don't always agree, I think we work really well together. And I personally like that people feel free to voice their differences of opinion, and that they. As I said, I think we work very well together as a commission, because I think we try very hard to represent, everything we're supposed to in a fair and even manner. So thank you for your time and your dedication. And I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Take that motion.
Second.
Much quicker than that.
I will second any motion that was just made by any person.
Just so I can go home.
Commissioner Kay. Commissioner Doherty.
Aye.
Commissioner Clark. Commissioner Mack.
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned.